The year is 2025. Wildfires, once a seasonal threat, have become a terrifying reality for the residents of California. From the north to the south, the Golden State is once again under siege, ravaged by infernos of unprecedented scale and ferocity. The skies, normally a vibrant blue, are choked with a thick, acrid smoke, a grim testament to the devastation below. The air itself crackles with an eerie orange glow, casting an unsettling pallor over the landscape. Southern California, home to sprawling cities and picturesque coastlines, is currently facing the brunt of nature's wrath. Multiple fires, fueled by drought-stricken vegetation and driven by fierce Santa Ana winds, are tearing through the region, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Among the most destructive are the Palisades and Eaton fires, monstrous blazes that have already consumed thousands of acres and forced mass evacuations. The scenes are apocalyptic. Homes, once havens of comfort and security, are reduced to smoldering rubble in the blink of an eye. Businesses, the lifeblood of communities, are transformed into charred skeletons. The familiar landmarks that once defined the landscape are gone, swallowed by the relentless flames. This is not just a story about fires, it's about lives upended, dreams shattered, and a collective sense of vulnerability. It's a stark reminder of the awesome power of nature and the fragility of human existence in the face of such untamed fury. The numbers tell a grim story. The Palisades and Eaton fires, the two largest currently raging in Southern California, have already scorched over 10,000 structures, leaving behind a wasteland of ash and debris. To put this into perspective, these fires now rank among the top 5 most destructive in California's history, a dubious distinction that underscores the scale of this disaster. The human toll is even more heartbreaking. At least 11 lives have been lost to the inferno, a number that authorities fear will continue to rise as the fires continue to burn uncontrolled. Behind each statistic is a human story, a life cut short, a family torn apart by tragedy. The emotional scars of this disaster will undoubtedly linger long after the flames have been extinguished. Adding to the devastation is the sheer unpredictability of the fires. Fueled by the notorious Santa Ana winds, which can gust up to 100 miles per hour, the flames are erratic and fast-moving, making it extremely difficult for firefighters to contain them. These winds, dry and hot, turn even small embers into potential firestorms, capable of leaping across highways and fire breaks, catching residents off guard and leaving them with little time to escape. As the fires continue to rage, the situation remains dire. Over 150,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their homes, forced to flee for their lives with little more than the clothes on their backs. The evacuation process, while orderly, is fraught with anxiety and uncertainty as families are separated, pets are left behind, and the threat of looting looms large. Despite the valiant efforts of firefighters, containment of the Palisades and Eaton fires remains frustratingly low, at 8% and 3% respectively. The sheer scale of the fires, coupled with the challenging terrain and unpredictable winds, has made it nearly impossible to get ahead of the flames. Firefighters are locked in a desperate battle, working around the clock, pushing their skills and endurance to the limit in a desperate attempt to protect lives and property. Adding to the firefighters' woes is a critical shortage of water in some areas. Dry hydrants and low water pressure have hampered firefighting efforts, turning what should be routine procedures into logistical nightmares. An independent investigation has been ordered to determine the cause of these water supply issues, but for now, they remain a significant obstacle in the fight against the inferno. To prevent further chaos and protect what little remains, a curfew has been imposed in the affected areas from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. This measure, while necessary, adds another layer of difficulty to the lives of those already grappling with the trauma of displacement. The curfew, however, has not completely deterred criminal activity, as evidenced by the 20 arrests made for looting. The situation remains volatile with no immediate end in sight. While smaller fires like the Hearst and Lydia fires are nearing full containment, the Palisades and Eaton fires continue to pose a significant threat, their relentless advance serving as a stark reminder of the raw power of nature. In the face of this inferno, a different kind of hero emerges: the firefighter. These brave men and women, clad in heavy gear and armed with hoses and axes, are the first line of defense against the relentless flames. They work tirelessly, often in perilous conditions, risking their lives to save others. Their courage and dedication are a testament to the human spirit's ability to confront even the most daunting challenges. The work of a firefighter is both physically and mentally demanding. They endure scorching heat, choking smoke, and the constant threat of shifting winds that could engulf them in flames. They witness firsthand the destruction of homes and lives, the raw grief of those who have lost everything. Yet they persevere, driven by a deep sense of duty and compassion. But firefighters are not alone in this battle. They are joined by a small army of support personnel, volunteers, and organizations, all working together in a coordinated effort to combat the disaster. The Red Cross, a beacon of hope in times of crisis, has mobilized its vast network of volunteers and resources to provide aid and comfort to those affected by the fires. From setting up emergency shelters to providing food, water, and medical supplies, the Red Cross is playing a vital role in alleviating the suffering caused by the wildfires. Their teams are on the ground, working tirelessly to meet the needs of evacuees, offering not just material assistance but also emotional support and a shoulder to cry on. Section 5. A Sea of Displacement, Finding Refuge in Chaos. The human cost of this disaster is, well, immeasurable. Over 150,000 people have been forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in makeshift shelters, churches, and community centers. The evacuation process, while orderly, is a logistical nightmare marked by traffic jams, long lines, and the heartbreaking sight of families separated from loved ones. For many evacuees, the trauma of displacement is compounded by the loss of their homes and possessions. They arrive at shelters with nothing but the clothes on their backs, their lives turned upside down by the inferno. The Red Cross and other relief organizations are working tirelessly to provide for their basic needs, but the psychological toll of this disaster will undoubtedly linger long after the fires have been extinguished. The shelters themselves are often overcrowded and understaffed, struggling to cope with the influx of evacuees. Despite the best efforts of volunteers and staff, resources are stretched thin, and the wait for food, water, and medical attention can be agonizingly long. Yet, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there is a palpable sense of community and resilience. Strangers reach out to help one another, sharing what little food and water they have. Volunteers work tirelessly to comfort frightened children and provide a sense of normalcy in the midst of chaos. The human spirit, though tested, has not been broken. Section 6. The Climate Change Conundrum, a Burning Question. As California battles yet another devastating wildfire season, experts are pointing to climate change as a major contributing factor. The Golden State has always been prone to wildfires, but the frequency and intensity of these events have increased dramatically in recent years, a trend that scientists attribute to rising global temperatures. The science is clear: climate change is real, it is human-caused, and it is having a profound impact on our planet. The Earth's average temperature has risen by about 1 degree Celsius since the late 19th century, and this warming trend is projected to continue, with potentially catastrophic consequences. One of the most significant impacts of climate change is the increased risk of extreme weather events, including heat waves, droughts, and wildfires. In California, rising temperatures have led to drier conditions and a longer fire season, creating a tinderbox-like environment that is ripe for ignition. The state has experienced 5 of its 6 largest wildfires on record in the past 5 years, a sobering statistic that underscores the growing threat posed by climate change. The 2024 fire season was particularly destructive, with over 500,000 acres burned in Northern California alone, causing billions of dollars in damage and displacing thousands of residents. Section 7. The government's response, a race against time. In response to the unfolding disaster, California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency, mobilizing all available resources to combat the wildfires and provide aid to those affected. The National Guard has been deployed to assist with firefighting efforts and prevent looting, while federal assistance has been requested to supplement state resources. The government's response, however, has not been without its critics. Some argue that more should have been done to prevent these fires in the first place, pointing to the need for better forest management practices and stricter building codes in fire-prone areas. Others argue that the government has been slow to react to the crisis, failing to provide timely and adequate assistance to those in need. The debate over forest management practices is particularly contentious. Some advocate for more aggressive measures, such as controlled burns and forest thinning, to reduce the amount of flammable material in forests. Others argue that these practices can be counterproductive, damaging ecosystems, and increasing the risk of erosion. Despite the challenges, the government is working to address the immediate needs of those affected by the wildfires, providing emergency shelter, food, water, and medical care. However, the long-term recovery process will be long and arduous, requiring a sustained effort from both the government and the private sector. Section 8. The aftermath: scars that run deep. The physical scars of the wildfires will take years, if not decades, to heal. The charred landscape, stripped bare of vegetation, is a stark reminder of the destructive power of these infernos. The loss of homes, businesses, and infrastructure will have a profound impact on the affected communities, both economically and psychologically. Beyond the immediate damage, the wildfires have also had a significant impact on public health. The smoke and ash released by the fires can travel for hundreds of miles, polluting the air and posing serious health risks, especially for children, the elderly, and those with respiratory problems. Hospitals have reported a surge in patients seeking treatment for respiratory illnesses, and air quality advisories have been issued for much of the state. The economic toll of the wildfires is also staggering. The insured losses from the Southern California fires alone are expected to exceed $8 billion, making it one of the costliest wildfire seasons on record. The fires have also disrupted businesses, forced the closure of schools and government offices, and resulted in the loss of countless jobs. The tourism industry, a major driver of the California economy, has been particularly hard hit, as visitors have been scared away by the fires and the resulting poor air quality. The long-term economic impact of the wildfires is still being assessed, but it is clear that the road to recovery will be long and challenging. Section 9. Looking ahead, a call for change. As California grapples with the aftermath of yet another devastating wildfire season, it is clear that the status quo is no longer sustainable. The state must take bold and decisive action to address the root causes of these fires, mitigate their impact, and build a more resilient future. One of the most pressing priorities is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and combat climate change. California has been a leader in this effort, setting ambitious goals for renewable energy and reducing carbon emissions. However, more needs to be done, and quickly, to avert the worst effects of climate change. In addition to addressing climate change, California must also invest in wildfire prevention and mitigation measures. This includes improving forest management practices, creating defensible space around homes and communities, and developing early warning systems to alert residents of impending fires. The state must also work to improve its emergency response capabilities, ensuring that it has the resources and personnel to respond effectively to future wildfires. This includes investing in firefighting equipment, training and technology, as well as improving coordination among state, local, and federal agencies. The wildfires that have ravaged California are a stark reminder of the challenges we face in an era of climate change. However, they are also a call to action, an opportunity to come together as a society and create a more sustainable and resilient future for all. The time for action is now, before it's too late.